Steve, my good man, how the devil are you?
I'm very good, buddy. How are you?
I'm very good, my friend. I'm a bit tired. I didn't sleep very well last night, so if I start nodding off, I can only apologise. It's not your company. It's just me being a bit knackered, and clearly the only thing for me to do at this point is just have something to drink, obviously.
Perk yourself up.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not, buddy? Why not? I don't blame you. I'll give you a little poke if you fall asleep.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, bro.
That's all right, not a problem.
And you had quite an exciting day yesterday.
Well, yeah. Interesting. It started out well until I was on my break at work, and I had a little phone call from Sarah, who had managed to put petrol in a diesel car.
Yeah, so that was an eventful day for you.
Yeah, but most of us have been there, so...
Yeah, exactly. It's not an uncommon thing, this one.
No, and she had the good sense not to start it, so... That was a bonus.
Happy days. So.
Yeah, so a few quid lighter, but just adds a bit of spice to the day.
Exactly, it's a funny story, if nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. I was bored at work, so I was like, oh, this will jazz me up a bit.
Did you then get the rest of the day off?
No, I was actually only gone for about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by the time I'd actually got to Sarah to help her out, people had helped her move the car off the garage forecourt into the local car park, which is only like 50 feet.
Yeah, if that.
So people had pushed her over there. She'd already rang RAC and sorted that. I was like,
Oh, happy days. You're just there for moral support at this point.
Basically, yeah. My sole job was to move the car seats from our car to her parents' car, because they are a bit fiddly.
Yeah.
And then they could take the boys.
Yeah, I've been examining the car seats that we have sitting in here with us now, and they may be the most complicated things I've ever seen. Nuclear fusion is more simple than these car seats.
Some of these car seats, mate, are nuts. Absolutely nuts. You know, they do their job, don't get me wrong.
Oh, certainly.
But some of them get them in the car. It's fiddly as hell.
When do we need to leave? In an hour. I'll go put the car seats in now.
Yeah, they're only in here because I haven't had time yet to put them back in the car. But yeah, they are faff.
I like them, mate. They're decorative pieces for the room.
They're a bugger because they're all on clips and feety things. They don't sit right. You have to lean them against something. Like, oh my god. But yeah, they're there. They do the job. They keep the kids safe. So that's the main thing.
That's the important thing, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Just not bloody cheap. That's the trouble. But then you could buy cheap and there's a risk. So
yeah, exactly. It's much like motorcycle leathers and a motorcycle helmet here.
Exactly.
Spend the money because it really you're only going to regret it if you don't.
Exactly. You can tell the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
We went shopping when we first had the boys. You could pick them up and you're just like, this feels... You could tell.
Yeah. You
know what it's like. You pick something up and you think, that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, I can see why this one is £500.
Yeah. There's probably, I can't remember what they cost. Probably 600 quid sat there for two seats.
God. So much money, man. It's so much. It's such a... I'm not going to get into why it's a con. Let's not, because they are safety things. But the reason they cost so much is a con. But there we go. We're going to leave that one there, I think.
Let's move on from that subject. But yeah.
Shall we dive into the show, Steve?
Let's dive straight in, buddy.
Good stuff. I'm Tim. He's Steve, and this is for the love of MotoGP. Now, if you're new to MotoGP, guys, don't forget to check out our Introduction to MotoGP show. Scroll back through your podcast feed, you'll find it there. It tells you everything you need to know to start enjoying the sport that we all love. We cover the riders, the teams, the storylines, everything that really makes this sport interesting. We go kind of through what the weekend looks like, the rule sets to the best of our ability. It's a very thick rule book. We're not going to bore you all with all of that. No, exactly.
Hours.
That show is now a year old. There will be a new one coming out very soon. But for now, go back and find that one. It's a fun one. You'll enjoy it.
It is a banger. That is a good show.
So before we dive properly into this, Steve, we just want to wish you all a happy new year from our friends over at Manscaped. The ball has officially dropped, but that does not mean that you have to drop the ball on your balls. It's time to bring sexy back in 2022 and step your game up with Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. Join 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped to help them ring in the new year with the right tools for the job. Go to manscaped.com and use code MotoGP for 20% off and free shipping. It's a new year, new you, and a new you means no pubes. So there's a disclaimer here. Manscaped sent both Steve and I one of their Performance Package 4.0s each, and it's been wonderful. My nether regions have never been more tame than they are now. Everything is trim, and there is some pubes there sometimes. Depends how lazy I'm feeling. But it's always trim and well controlled. So
it's all well manicured.
Exactly, Steve. Well manicured. The lawnmower 4.0, which is the trimmer, the electric trimmer that comes with the pack here, is designed to trim hair on loose skin using its advanced skin-safe technology to reduce cuts and nicks on your delicate nuts. It also comes equipped with an LED spotlight that will shine a light to the promised land 2022 looks to be.
Very handy light.
It's a very handy light. It's also time to freshen up down there in the new year. The Crop Preserver is anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturiser. You already put deodorant on your armpits, so why not put deodorant on your balls? It's a treat for all involved.
It is.
It really is. And even once you're done, your hands smell so nice.
I know.
It really is a treat.
Yeah, I know. It really does smell good.
It's come to the point now where I'll be having my shower and stuff, and then I'll wander downstairs, go make a cup of tea, and Cherie will be like, "You've used your ball deodorant again, haven't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, my balls are smelling fresh." And every time she points out, "No, it's just my hands. She can smell." I'm like, all right. So
walk around with your nuts out.
Yeah,
It's part of the routine now.
just walking around with your nuts out.
Pretty much.
Nice.
No, using the product, I got used to it.
Yeah, I love it, man. I like it a lot. It makes me feel all pampered, a bit like I'm going to a spa. I'm like, oh, classy.
It does, yeah. Yeah. Nearly after every shower now, I'm like, yep. Let's rub these balls.
Yeah, I like it. It's really every opportunity for me, actually. It's just
pretty much,
not just a shower. So, guys, get 20% off and free shipping with the code MotoGP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code MotoGP. Have no regrets this new year with our friends at Manscaped. And this, Steve, is the time where Correction Corner would jump in. But again, no corrections have been sent in. So this is 2 weeks on the trot now, Steve.
I like it.
Things are looking good. This is where people have been emailing in them. We've just lost the emails.
Probably.
Somewhere. So there's probably 40 corrections we do need to get through. So next week's Correction Corner will be, actually, guys, we did mess up. We had loads.
Yeah, separate show just for it. Could be over there all day.
We've just been ignoring it to pretend that we are the professional entities we wish to be.
I think.
We think. So with that, Steve, shall we dive into the news?
Let's dive straight in, buddy.
Good stuff. And then once we've done the news, we will be diving in to talk about Raul Fernandez as a prequel to his entry into the MotoGP paddock.
Yeah, buddy.
But it's the news first, Steve, and we'll start from the top here. We had the first bike launch this year, Steve.
We did. I was a bit annoyed because I forgot I said I'd work.
Oh, no. See, I actually messed up and completely forgot it was happening.
Really?
Yeah, I completely forgot. It was only once you text me and we're like, "Have you seen the bike?" I was like, "Fuck, the launch has happened." I know. And then I had to go Google it very quickly. And I'm a big fan of this look now, man.
It's growing on me.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, because I was at work and I put the reminder on my phone. I was like, I'm going to watch it. And I was at work. I thought, I better not. I'm working right next to the office. The boss can see me.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, I better make it actually look like I'm doing something. So I recorded it, watched it when I first got home. And to start off with, I looked at it, I was like, ooh, what's this? And it was because it was different.
Yeah, okay.
And it just, I wasn't really taken by it. But the more I look at it, the more I see images of it and people sharing it, it is growing on me.
Yeah, and this is I don't even know if we said, but it's the Gresini squad, the Gresini Ducati.
Yeah.
And I had the first, I looked at it first and I was like, oh, this looks very different. It's with this kind of almost baby blue with then the Ducati red stripes, which I didn't think was a colour combo that was going to work.
No.
But the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, that's a bike that's going to stand out. You're going to see that. You're not going to be looking at a sea of bikes that are quite similar. It's really going to stand out. And I think it's a nice colour scheme. I like it a lot.
It is growing on me. I do like that sort of blue-grey red combo now.
Yeah, I think it's cool, man.
Yeah. We've seen similar on the factory Ducati in the past. We had that grey they had on it for a year or two.
Oh, they did with Dovi riding it.
Yeah, that was very, very similar, but not quite as much of that colour.
No, that was just a few flashes, wasn't it, of the grey. But this is more of a blue than a grey anyway.
It's got a very blue tinge hue to it.
Yes, certainly.
It's nice. It's definitely going to grow on me now. I do like the leathers.
Yeah, I think the leathers look really cool.
Yeah, they look good. That's quite often the case. I either like one or the other.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to grow on me. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. To start with, I was like, who knew? Who knew? But now, yeah, it's growing on me.
Yeah, and it was designed by Aldo Drudi, who we know obviously does a lot with the VR46 camp, does a lot with the Italian riders, full stop, helmet designs and stuff, which I guess this makes sense. It's an Italian team running an Italian bike with 2 Italian riders. Like, the fact that Aldo Drudi's involved shouldn't be a surprise for anyone, really.
No. It'd be very odd if they went like, let's just go for a Spanish designer.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd just be strange. But yeah, it all makes sense. It's all just Italian through and through.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, certainly.
I do like it. But yeah, it's going to grow on me. I think once we see it on track,
yes,
I really want to see it in the flesh.
Yeah, I'd quite like to.
Yeah, there's the guys at work who started talking about going to Silverstone
nice.
this year. And like I said, after I went last year, when you see, I think it was the KTM I spoke about.
Yeah, you said the colour was just incredible.
So different.
Yeah.
So different seeing it in the flesh. So I think it's going to be another one of those that when you get up close and personal with it, it's just going to look completely different.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I think that's true for most of them.
I think it is, yeah. Like, again, they had the Mazda Yamaha on a display. You can walk past, and the colour difference just.
It's got to be really hard to design a bike that looks really good in person, but also looks really good on TV and looks really good like to cameras, because we all know like there's like colour perception changes and stuff, and like they do look different in real life. So it's got to be very hard for the designer to nail one design that covers both in person and on TV. Yeah,
I read an article once. It was actually by Michael Bay, the film director, producer, whatever.
So it's all about explosions.
Pretty much. But it was all about the colour scheme when the new Transformers movies come out.
Okay.
And it was just basically that red/blue flame combo on Optimus Prime, the truck.
Yeah.
And he said it was the hardest thing to film and get it to look on the screen exactly how it did in real life.
There's a big contrast between the colours involved there.
Like, you just could not get it. And he's like, you'd be looking at the camera and then you look beside the camera and it would be completely different. He said you could not get it to film exactly how it was.
I bet there was a lot of post-production enhancing of it to
there
make it
must
really
have
pop.
been.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I ever sort of thought about it and was like, yeah, I wonder how hard it is. Because there's quite often you take a picture on your phone, you look at it and you think, wow, fuck, that looks nothing like what I've just seen. Happens all the time. So I don't use my phone a lot for like taking pictures of the boys. And it just like, going to Silverstone last year just highlighted how real that is.
Yeah, certainly.
And so I think this could be another one of those where you see it in the flesh, you'll be like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a really good, I think it was by Chain Bear YouTube channel. It's called Chain Bear F1, I think, and he's one of the best YouTube channels for F1 stuff. If you're interested, it's really nicely animated stuff, and he really breaks down the rules, makes it very, very simple. But I think it was him. He did a video about car design for F1 cars and how not only is it have to look good in person and on TV, but for a Formula One car especially, and this will be true for a MotoGP bike as well, but not quite to the same extent. They're saying that a Formula One car, you've got to design 3 different planes of design. You've got to design the side so it looks one way on camera, the front so it looks good on camera, and the top as well. So you've got to make sure your design works with each section to be shown when it's front on, when it's side on, when it's top down. Like, you've got to have it, and it must be true for a MotoGP bike as well. Like, it's not an easy job to do. We're all very critical of like bad liveries and stuff.
Oh god, yeah.
But geez, man, I wouldn't want to be. Well, I probably would because I get paid a fucking fortune. But like, it's not an easy job, man, to get a livery good.
Yeah, I'm always very critical of like HRC and their colour schemes.
And like we said before, though, that's an iconic colour scheme. There's actually nothing wrong with the HRC colour scheme. I think it's great. The whole Repsol colour scheme is great. It's just a bit boring because it's
just
the
the longevity of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I did actually get onto HRC. I did see something on Twitter the other day where HRC have actually redesigned their logo.
Ooh.
You know what they did?
Oh, go on. Did they make the black line slightly thicker?
No, they changed the font.
Is that it?
That's it.
Just for the actual HRC logo?
Yep.
Okay.
Still the same colours, but they just went one font down.
Oh, nice.
Literally, there was pictures of it on Twitter. I was like, oh my god, the imagination.
Let me see if I can find it. When did it come out recently? New HRC logo. Let's have this quick Google. Whoa, that's not what I'm looking at. Logo. Oh, that's a different HRC. Okay. I was like, wow, they've really changed the logo, Steve. That's massive, but that's actually the Human Rights Campaign, not Honda Racing Corporation. It turns out if you Google HRC logo, you pretty much get a lot for the Human Rights Campaign. Here we go, Honda Racing Corp here. Let's have a look. This is making terrible podcasts. I'm going to close that page and we're going to move on.
We'll post some stuff online.
If we can find it.
Yeah. Jump into the Facebook group and we'll splash it all over there if we can.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're allowed to. If not, we'll just take some LSD and get the crayons out.
Yeah, or I'll just take the LSD.
You just take the LSD because I've never done it and I don't know what'll happen. The amount of painkillers I'm on at the minute for my teeth, I'll probably just float.
You would be floating, mate. It would be a wonderful... So anyway, we're not promoting the taking of hallucinogenic substances.
Don't do it, kids.
Unless you're over 18, and yeah, we're very capable of doing so. But that's fine. Ignoring that, we have updates on Marc Marquez.
We do.
Who knew we'd get so quickly from hallucinogenic drugs to Marc Marquez? But we've done it. We're there.
Well, he's seeing double.
Well, hey, but that's an interesting point, Steve, because maybe he's not now. Well,
it would appear so.
Marc Marquez has been cleared to ride a motorcycle again, man.
He has.
This is
fantastic.
Yeah, big news, fantastic news. It's something that I guess we'd all, after spending a good portion of 2020 and a good portion of 2021 being like, is Marquez ever going to ride a motorbike again?
Aye.
This time, it's sort of flown under the radar that he might not ever ride a motorbike again. But this was as real, if not more real of a threat than before.
I think it was, like you say, more.
Yeah.
There's, sustained injuries, not only the arm, but a reoccurrence of the double vision, whatever it's called. I can't pronounce its proper name.
I can't remember off the top of my head. Something
Yeah, wonky eye syndrome.
Wonky eye syndrome, that's what we'll call it.
He's lapped a track.
Yeah, exactly. So he was cleared by his doctor to go out and ride a motorcycle again, and being Marc Marquez, he went, okay, I'm going to go ride motocross because that feels like a real test. That's going to be really heavy loads. We're going to see how it is. He went back to the doctor, and the doctor was like, all good. He was like, I can see. The doctor's like, happy days, away you go then. So he then jumped on to tear up some laps of Portimao on the Honda RC213VS, which is their road-going MotoGP bike, isn't it? Just incredible machine, but it's cost stupid. I googled how much this cost the other day, Steve.
Was it It
was $190,000 new. One of them recently sold to be the most expensive Japanese motorcycle at $269,000.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, that sold somewhere in the US for a fucking $250,000, man. Like,
that's insane.
Stupid money. Someone has got way too much money. That money really could have gone to something more important.
That's just nuts. I mean, we all see the road-going versions of these things every now and again. Like, I went to Stanton once, and there was the Desmodici road bike.
Oh, was there? I've never seen one of those.
Only time I've ever seen one in the flesh, and it was only there for 5 minutes. But you know what Hunstan's like, big grassy field, everyone parks bikes on the seafront, you go off and get chips, which is like 100 metres away.
Yeah.
The noise.
I can imagine, man.
It was just nut. You knew what had started. It didn't take 2 seconds to work it out. And the heads that turned.
Yeah.
And the crowd that was round it, because it's just a one-off.
Yeah.
If you had one of these...
And even that, brand new, was that £60,000 bike or something?
I think so, like maybe 30, something like that. But anything like that, anything special, you go out and you see an RC30, an RC45, an SP2 in Castrol colours, anything like that, an old 916.
Yeah.
Just a crowd turner.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The Kawasaki H2 is another example of one of those bikes.
Yeah, everyone loves those.
Wow, look at that.
Just a bit of exotica that you don't see every day.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially if it's unbolstered, no one's like put something stupid on it. He's just like, oh, come on. Lottery win.
Yeah, quite. Beautiful machines, man.
But yeah, the hell of a machine. And not easy to ride.
Certainly not. I mean, it's a very stiff machine. It's a terrible road bike, but a very good track bike, which is kind of the point of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Marquez was out, because it's the closest thing to a MotoGP bike that you can really get at this point. So Marquez was out on one of them, tearing up the laps. What did you say? He did nearly 300 kilometres or something?
No, I just looked it up. There's only reports. Apparently recording 65 laps.
65 laps of Portimao, which is, fuck knows, what's Portimao? 3 point something, 3.8?
I think it's 3.8, 3.9 kilometres.
Something like that. So a quick maths here will suggest 200 and something kilometres he's done.
Yeah. A fair heft. So it shows that the ability's there.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems to be that he got off it and he was fine. He was tired, obviously. He's using muscles. It turns out his training routine has just been shot all winter. He got to a point, apparently, I don't think anyone realised it was this bad, but he was getting to where he couldn't stand up off the sofa quickly because it would make him feel sick because his vision was so bad. So he hasn't really been able to train hard at all. So he's very behind on his training.
Again.
Exactly, and let's be fair, that shoulder has still not recovered from the operation pre-2020. He then smashed that arm to bits, which meant the shoulder recovery was put on hold. He came back, he's then tried to work on it. Now he's gone through this, like his whole body. Like this is a man who's not going to start this season fully fit. No,
I think he's still going to have done some sort of training. There'll be some sort of physio going on in the background whilst he's been recovering for the eye stuff.
Oh, there certainly will be, but it's not his usual flat-out training.
No.
So he's certainly not going to be at peak Marc Marquez fitness.
No. But like you say, we've got the test coming up.
Yeah, the Sepang test, which is about 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 5th and 6th of Feb. So
Is that the dates? That would be the dates for the full test, or is that the rookie test first? I can't remember.
the next target for Marquez is the Sepang test on the 5th and 6th of Feb.
Okay, there we
Just
go.
read it right there. It's right next to me.
Happy days. So yeah, the 5th and the 6th then. That's where he'll be, and that's when he's going to be back on his MotoGP bike. That's when he's going to be back doing a test schedule.
Yep.
And he's still not, as it turns out, properly cleared to race from his doctors. I think the Dorna doctors, or maybe the other way around, I think maybe the Dorna doctors haven't fully cleared him to race. They're waiting to see what happens after this test session.
Yep.
And if he's still good after, their really intensive test schedule, then they're going to be like, okay, now you're good to go.
Yeah. Fingers crossed he will be okay.
Yes.
Because the number of people that have fallen in love with this guy.
It's amazing, isn't it? And the chats we've had in the Facebook group stuff, and we've been saying this for a little while, actually, from 2020 pretty much. We're like, if he comes back and he does well, he's going to have gained fans from this. And especially now with Valentino Rossi gone, a lot of the animosity has disappeared from the paddock very quickly because, the animosity to Marc and Rossi and that group of fans. So I think he's just going to scoop up more and more fans. If he can go and win another championship or two, he's going to hit probably close to Valentino Rossi levels of stardom and of, popularity.
Absolutely. Although it's been detrimental to his career, his fan base, and just his following, this has done the power of good.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
It's just incredible. We all love a good tearjerker.
Yeah, and it's a good comeback story.
It is a massive comeback story. I am really looking forward to when he does win another title, because I'm sure he will.
Yeah, he's probably only got a few more years to try, though.
I think he has.
What is he, 28 now? You kind of say it's very hard to win a title after you're 30, so he's got 2, maybe 3 years left to try. How old was Vale in 2009 for his last title?
What is he, 42 now?
Yeah, 42 now, so we're saying, 13 years ago?
Yeah.
So 29, 30 at a push. So kind of shows it's very hard to win a title after you're 30. Marquez has got a couple of years left, and this year he's not coming into it fully fit. If Marquez can come into this year, though, and I don't think he's going to be on top form at the start of the year, but if he can stay injury-free at the start of the year and not lose too many points, then by the second half of the year, you can probably say he's going to be able to challenge that championship. But if he puts himself in an 80-point hole or something in the first half of the year, he's going to really struggle to get out of that hole.
Absolutely. Just finish the races.
That's exactly it, isn't it?
God's sake, don't injure yourself. Don't aggravate that arm.
Yeah, quite.
But we will see. Time will tell. It's not far away. The start of the season's cranking around.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly. Go get through these test sessions first.
Yes, we'll just go over there and mother him a little bit.
Yeah, quite. Speaking of tests, Steve, actually, I'm going to skip a couple of points down in the news here because this feels like a good segue here. We're going to briefly touch on something that now, although I've not seen this mentioned anywhere in MotoGP news or MotoGP reporting, I only know about this because for what I do for work, I am on a fucking ridiculous number of mailing lists about news in Southeast Asia.
Right.
So it's looking like the Indonesia test and race for MotoGP at it's Lombok, isn't it? Mandalika. Yep. It's looking like these might not be able to go ahead.
Ooh.
At the moment, Indonesia are requiring anyone entering the country to quarantine for at least 7 days.
Right.
If this remains the case, then it doesn't work for the test because the riders and teams are going to be testing in Sepang less than 7 days before the Mandalika test is supposed to start.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit.
So there's no time for quarantining there.
No.
In theory, it could work for the race if this doesn't change. Let's also be fair, the rules around Southeast Asia and quarantine stuffs are changing so rapidly and so frequently at the moment that this might be an irrelevant point at the moment.
It is quite hard to keep up with.
It's very hard to keep up with. Cherie, every single week, has been updating the web, guides on the website. Both her and I work for All About Southeast Asia, and it's every single week having to know all of the entry requirements to all of these countries in Southeast Asia, and it's proving to be a real fucking headache for her.
I can imagine.
So, yeah, it's not been fun for literally anyone. COVID has just not been fun, full stop, really.
No, I was just looking at the calendar. So we got, Motegi starting on the 25th of September, and then Thailand on the 2nd of October.
Yeah, so that's so far away that we're not too worried about it. Yeah, but it's this Indonesia round that's very early in the year that could prove to be a problem here. It could work for the race, but time-wise, but it would require Dorna and all the MotoGP teams to pay for all of their staff to quarantine for 7 days in Indonesia before they can go to the track. And if they're going to do the test as well, which we don't think they can with the 7-day quarantine, but if they get a special exemption, they're going to have to pay for it more than once.
mean,
it's a tough one because we're currently seeing right now in the world as well that, certain sports stars are being delivered exemptions to these rules, these quarantine rules, these vaccine rules.
Yeah.
And we are seeing now that countries are really fighting back on this. The prime
absolutely.
example, as we have just seen, has been the Novak Djokovic stuff in Australia going.
He's actually been deported now.
He's been deported now. And I'm actually fully on board, I think, to go off on my opinions about things, because we all know I have opinions about everything, Steve.
You never.
I think that he should have been allowed in the country in the first place.
No.
I think that the Australian government and Border Force fucked it completely. I think he fucked it completely. And I think everyone has come out of this looking like a prime twat.
Yeah, I think I didn't follow it that well. But I'm just thinking, why do it in the first place?
Exactly.
State of the world, why do it in the first place? I mean, come on.
Everyone's come out of it looking bad, and no sides have come out of this looking good at all. And I really don't want that to happen to MotoGP or any MotoGP riders or the MotoGP as a sport, because I feel like the Australian, is it the Australian Open for tennis? Is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah. I don't really follow tennis.
So the Australian tennis, whatever that Grand Slam event is, have come out of this looking like fucking idiots. The country's come out of it looking like an idiot. Novak Djokovic has come out of this looking like a right idiot. Like, no one's come out looking good from this, and I don't want this to happen to MotoGP, especially because Indonesia is already a track that's a bit problematic anyway, with all of the human rights abuses that have been going on to build this circuit. So
yeah, there's a lot of underlining features, so we call them, or facts behind it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Raises a few eyebrows.
Yeah, don't be surprised if this round gets postponed or cancelled this year. Nothing official has happened yet, and this is only stuff I know from having to pay attention to this stuff and pay attention to the news in this region. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this moving forward.
Yes. Yeah, interesting.
Next bit of news then, Steve. Taka Nakagami has hired a mental coach. So after plenty of crashes in his 5-year MotoGP career, especially when the podium pressure's been on, Aragon, when he's fucking the fastest guy out there, goes and crashes on like lap 1, and we've seen this a few times with Nakagami, when he's looking set, the pressure builds and he makes big mistakes.
Absolutely.
So he's now working with a mental coach to try and change tack, help him deal with these high pressure situations. And, I think we're all big fans of Taka Nakagami here.
I like Taka.
I like Taka. To be fair, actually, on that MotoGP grid now, there's not many people I don't like at all.
No, I've looked through it, and in years gone by, there's always that person you love to hate.
Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Polo Spargo had it for a little bit.
Yeah, Stoner. Some people hated Stoner with a passion. Some people really hated him.
For a lot of people, Valentino Rossi was their love to hate.
Exactly.
Marc Marquez, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there is. But at the minute, I look through that grid, like you say, and there's not any one that I think, oh, you're an idiot. I don't like you. Mm-hmm. You're too arrogant.
Yeah.
We've heard some riders in the past, it's not me, it's the bike.
Yes, exactly.
And, I just look through it now and I think, I want you to do well. I want you to do well. And it becomes evident, like when we do our shows, when we talk for people at the bottom, I don't want them to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was down to us, we'd have everyone on the podium.
Yeah.
But someone's got to finish last.
Exactly. You can't finish first if there's not someone finishing last.
No, exactly. It's called a race for a reason.
Exactly that. But hopefully this is the final piece that
I hope so.
really sorts him out and gets him up to that point, because he's clearly fast enough at times to be a podium contender. You would say the pace he has, Nakagami is good for a podium or two a year, generally.
Absolutely.
Maybe not a win. He's probably not going to be tearing up a podium every weekend. He's probably not going to be on even a Cal Crutchlow level, where he's good for a handful of podiums a year. But 1 or 2, he's probably safe for, you'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not come together for him yet.
Not yet, no. Every time he's come close, he's screwed it over.
And I think there's even more pressure on him at the moment because everyone is looking at Iagora and just being like, he's going to have your seat. Which is an interesting point, though, because when we all look at that, and you and I have said this before as well, and all of the news outlets are saying this, we're like, but look at Iagora. If he does well, Nakagami's out of a seat.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But then it also begs the question a little bit, can Nakagami not just get another seat? Is there a rule that just says we only have one Japanese rider in there at any one time?
Yeah.
Because that's sort of how it feels. It feels like Honda want their one Japanese rider. It doesn't matter what's happening to everyone else.
No, that is very true. I never thought about that before.
But surely, Nakagami is fast enough that one of the lower teams you'd imagine would take him. But then it's, again, I'm arguing with myself here because as we've said before, even in this stupid, silly season we've got coming up this year where 80% of the guys are out of contract at the end of the year, there's not that many scenarios where you can see that many people switching.
No. I mean, if you've got a seat at the minute, you want to hang on to it.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the young talent are on a progression up to a factory seat. They've kind of already gone, okay, I'm signing with Ducati, I'm signing with KTM, and I'm going to try and get onto that factory, and I'm going to try and win with that factory. So there's not as much chopping and changing as there used to be. It's only going to be if one of the megastars swaps a factory seat, if we see a Quartararo or a Mir leave their seats, or a Marc Marquez leave his seat, and then all of a sudden that blows open silly season. But until that
shock
happens,
move.
yeah.
Look, we had it a couple of years ago, didn't we? All of a sudden, you're moving?
Well, it was the Lorenzo Ducati thing just blew up.
Exactly.
Season.
And all of a sudden, that opens up a whirlwind of options.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just goes nuts. But like you say, the progression through the teams, everyone's got their riders lining up.
And everyone's talent pool except Yamaha at this point. But we know Yamaha have also got their Moto2 team coming up. They are going to be working alongside Valentino Rossi, which is also a bit weird because he's got a Ducati team in MotoGP, so it's all a bit strange. But Yamaha haven't got a proper feeder way in, whereas all the other manufacturers pretty much do now.
Yeah, everyone's got their little...
Suzuki don't, I suppose.
No. Aprilia?
Interesting. Aprilia always had Gresini, but now Gresini are a Ducati team. I guess not.
No, so just really Suzuki and Aprilia that haven't got that route in.
Yeah.
But then are they going to be the ones that are free agents, if you will? And they're just going to be the ones that you go to get your route in?
Potentially. But Suzuki is going to be a very sought-after seat. The Aprilia isn't going to be a sought-after seat.
It depends, doesn't it?
I mean, it depends what Vinales can do on it this year. Because if it's still a Leish, is the only one that's capable of scoring a podium or two, but Vinales is still lingering or languishing in, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, that bike, you're still like, is this a bike that literally only a Leish can ride? Is this a bit like Casey Stoner on the Ducati or Marc Marquez on the Honda? Like, is this a bike that only he can ride?
Could go that way. It's got potential to be exactly that.
Yeah, and we saw for a long time, no one wanted to ride a Ducati. At the minute, people don't really want to ride a Honda.
No, not. Well, look at the fortunes of Pole. Exactly. And how long it's taken him to get to grips with it. So, arguments are the only ones you really want to be on are the Ducati.
Yeah, well, quite. I think as a rookie now, you want a Ducati, you want a Suzuki, or you want a Yamaha.
Yeah.
You don't want a Honda, you don't want a KTM.
Any other option is that I'll stay put.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we will see.
Yeah, we will see indeed. Last bit of news then, Steve.
Yes, buddy.
Remy Gardner, my friend here. This is news that you spilt to me, I don't know, 5 minutes before we started recording, so this is very fresh for both of us here.
Yep, like to check the news just before we go on air, or not say news, social media feeds to see if anything's happened.
That's
Remy
where the news world is at now. The 24-hour news cycle is social media now.
It pretty much is for us. Yeah. So, yeah, Mr. Remy decided to fracture his wrist.
Yeah, weird decision. It's strange that he went, do you know what, I'm just going to go fracture my wrist today.
Yeah.
Can't quite fathom that one.
I think it was motocross training accident.
Yeah.
And just ended up with the article said, small fracture in the right wrist. And then today he's had it operated on by Dr. Mia, and it just said 2 screws put in.
So 2 screws put in, that's today, Tuesday.
Yep.
And it said something he's looking to return to full training on Friday.
Yeah, progressed to training or something Friday.
Okay.
So I think details are a bit thin on the ground at the minute.
Yeah. So you imagine a small break like that shouldn't affect his fitness too much. He should still be able to train okay. Maybe he's not going to be able to lift the weights like he once was, but he'll still be able to train fine. It's going to be a bit sore to go running and cycling and stuff. But it's going to be the pain during the test that we've got coming in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not far away.
And it's your right wrist, man. Your right wrist does a lot. That's your throttle. That's your front brake. Like there's a lot of force going through that right wrist.
Yeah, you don't get any rest. So not ideal at all.
No.
So, a bit disappointed, really. I was really looking forward to these tests with him.
Yeah, and I think he's still going to have to go out there and just grit his teeth and get on with it. To be fair, he won the championship with smashed ribs.
No, that's true. Yeah, we know he's tough.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a tough guy. He's probably just going to walk up to it and just blitz it. And just be, probably just, that typical bullish style and just go, fuck it, you know what? Full ball.
Yeah, quite.
Give it the full gas and just go for it and get off it and just go, it's a bit sore.
If it's just like swollen up to twice the size.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
It's like just ice it for a while, that'll be all right.
Yeah.
Elevate it, ice it, that'll be fine.
Yeah, everyone else will be dying in pain. Can't do it.
And then, it's just all of these guys, isn't it? These fucking nutters.
They've just had...
Once you get this much adrenaline flowing through your system, like...
adrenaline's amazing.
Man. Yeah, adrenaline's amazing.
Do when you're pumped full of adrenaline. Superhuman stuff.
And it's sort of sickening to me that these guys get that week in, week out. Like they just get adrenaline. They're all racers are just a bunch of fucking adrenaline junkies.
They are basically.
Yeah.
They are basically just nut job adrenaline junkies who just want to
exactly
go out and get that buzz.
Yep, 100%.
Let's go join them.
Let's go join them. But the problem is, it's expensive. Like,
That is bloody expensive, yeah.
We've got to find a cheap way to get my thrills, Steve. I'll go climbing trees and shit.
Dodging trains.
Dodging trains, yeah, that's fair.
Don't do it, kids.
No, don't actually do that. That was a terrible thing. A MotoGP track has a medic for a reason.
Yes, trains don't.
Train tracks don't have medics.
You're not coming back from that one.
No, you're not. Don't do that.
Just go, I don't know, go jump out of a plane.
With a parachute.
Yeah, I was going to say, specify that. Go skydiving. That'd be a better one, because that is good, I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
That is bloody good. Cold, but good.
That would be fucking imagine trying to do it this time of year. Jeez.
Oh, mate, this morning when I got up to go to work, frosty.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
De-iced the van.
I left Nottingham today at maybe 12:30, and my car was parked in the shade of the house, so I still had to de-ice it at like midday. I was like, for fuck's sake.
It's so annoying over here at the minute. We're like full thick of the English winter.
Yeah.
And sat outside at my lunch break. It was warm, it was lovely. But overnight it freezes solid.
Yeah.
And it's just the moisture in the air over here sticks to windscreens.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It is horrid. I know other parts of the world are like far worse than what we've got it. But English weather, we're just not geared up for it.
Oh, not at all, mate. Not at all.
Cars are not suited for it. Or you can just buy standard cars.
Yeah, none of us can drive in the snow and ice. So.
No, because we never have it.
No, exactly.
We don't have enough of it.
And when we do, we're right, let's stay in.
Yeah.
I can stay in by the fire.
Yeah, but then you get some nutters like, I love going out driving in the snow. Brilliant. Absolutely love it.
Me too, and I like doing it just because no one else does. It's one of those things where I'm like, at some point in my life, I'm going to have to go out and drive in the snow.
Exactly.
So I may as well just go and get the car stuck in a field now. Well, I know that I'm only like half hour from home, and I can probably just walk back if it goes tits up.
Yeah, I can remember as kids, like, being at home, it'd be winter time, I'd be quite happily wrapped up, sat in front of the fire, and then Dad would come bursting in. It's snowing. Get in the car. Why? It's cold. We're going for a drive.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, and I grew up loving it. I passed my driver test in the middle of the winter. Like, when you can't describe what snow looks like coming straight at you.
Oh, it's warp speed, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's that kind of.
It's
if
the
you're driving
floating
at night,
stars thing.
Yeah, it's
the
amazing.
Star Trek effect.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Phenomenal. But now, like, kids at work are like, snow?
Yeah.
No.
I think a lot of it depends on what your parents have been like. My parents were very confident drivers and would drive whatever the conditions, no problem at all. And I always grew up with that attitude towards driving. And it sounds like you had exactly the same thing growing up.
I was chucked outside.
Yeah, and your dad's just like, we're going out to drive in the snow now. So I just followed that through, even when I could barely drive and I'd only just passed. I was still like, well, it can't be that much different. Turns out it's a lot different, but it's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable. But I guess if you've grown up in a family and Cherie is a prime example of this, you've grown up in a family who are like, oh, it's snowing, we're not driving, it's too dangerous, not doing it, then that's just ingrained into you. You're like, I can't do that. No, that's not safe.
Yep, exactly that. Go out and drive in the snow, kids, it's fun.
That, and I mean, I'm completely with Steve here. Actually, if it snows, first time it snows after you've just passed your test, go out and drive.
Yep, and if you haven't got one, find someone who's got a rear wheel car. It's more fun.
Oh, jeez, man. No, I've never driven a rear wheel drive in the snow, to be fair.
Have you not?
No, I've only ever driven rear wheel drives in a bit like hire cars. There's only been a couple of occasions, and it's the weirdest thing, man. I never realised that you could tell the difference when you're driving.
Phenomenal.
I remember the first time I sat in a rear wheel drive car, started going, and my first thought was, oh shit, this is pushing me and not pulling me. It feels like a motorcycle.
Yeah,
it was
it's an insane feeling.
And it's a feeling you can't describe to anyone until it's happened.
Yeah.
Like, until they've driven a rear-wheel drive car, and especially if they drive a motorcycle as well, even better, because then you really have got a direct comparison between the two. But you can't describe that feeling to someone. That feeling doesn't make sense.
Not that transition.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I remember we got our BMW, and my first thought was, I could do proper donuts. And we took it out in the ice and snow, and there's me going down the road like a giddy twat sideways. She sat next to me going, stop it! Kids are in the back going, what's going on?
They're like, why am I looking at the houses?
They weren't really. We didn't have kids back then. But
that's when you were just going out for drives for fun and not to put children to sleep.
I forgot we had a rear-wheel drive car once. And for some reason, I don't know if this happens in any other countries, but on some of the roundabouts we go over here, right next to the roundabout in the centre, they put those little cobblestones.
Oh, yeah.
Mad things. I have no idea why.
I think because that's cheaper than putting roundabout in.
I think so. But I remember just twitching one of those and just spinning the beamer, like in the middle of this thing, just watching car lights going round and round. I was like, this is fucking great. And then just ending up like completely lost. I'm like, what junction do I want? Because I've just spun it like 5 times. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like sat watching this modified beamer spinning and just smack the mic there for effect. And just like, wow, fucking boy racer prick.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just genuine, I'd forgot. Just doing donuts in the middle of some street roundabout.
Yeah, it happens, mate. It's these things. I do it in the wet. You hit them cobbles sometimes.
Oh, mate, they're lethal.
Yeah.
But,
And as I've had worse and worse cars throughout my life, I started off getting very good cars, and then it really rapidly went downhill as I rapidly had less and less money. And I remember the first time it was my Ford Fiesta, that 1998 one I had, the silver thing. One of the most fun cars I've ever had because it was just on the limit all the time. It just you did 40 miles an hour, but it felt like you did 100. It was a wonderful car, but Jesus, man, no grip in the wet whatsoever. Tiny 13-inch wheels or something. Like it was so. I remember coming around the first day I had it, came around a corner in the wet, and I'd been used to just beaning it around these corners, no matter what the weather's doing. Came around the corner, put the accelerator down as I always did, and then I'm just sideways, just facing the house, and I just did the obviously the worst thing you can do when you're skidding, and I turned out of the skid, tried to put opposite lock on, tried to bring it back. Didn't even think about it and ended up just pirouetting down the road at this point. Slammed the curb really hard with two wheels, and they were steel. They weren't alloys on the wheels, so they were steel wheels.
Steel ribs.
Oh my god, mate! The dent that appeared in one, I could put my fist in the dent that appeared. And I was driving, and I was like, "Oh, this is fucked." So then I had to get a new set of wheels, and it turned out I'd also broken a spring and I'd broken loads of stuff. So my £300 car then was about to cost me like £1,000 or so to repair. So I properly bodged it, and it got me to the next MOT, and then it was like, "Nah, mate, we're getting rid of this."
I don't think I've ever had a proper accident driving in the snow. Clipped a hedge once.
I mean, that wasn't the snow, that was just the wet.
Oh, that was the wet. I had an accident in the wet. Now, I got a bit squirrely once in the wet, but that was because I was overtaken and didn't see like the massive puddle
that's
the dual carriageway. I was concentrating more on the person I was going past, just make sure I'd given them enough room. Yeah. And then when I looked back, I was like, "Oh, there's a big ass puddle. Oh shit!"
Oh no! And then you just splashed them completely as well, so they're fuming at you.
Yeah, the wipers did nothing. It's like that tidal wave that comes across you, and just like for 3 seconds, you're just like, "I'm completely blind."
And you have a moment, you're like, "I hope this hasn't got in the airbox."
Yeah, I've never done that. I've seen people do that.
A friend of mine hit a puddle. He didn't realise how deep it was, and it turned out it was just above his knees. And he came in. He drives like a fucking twat, to be fair. This is the same friend that hit a badger doing over a ton, and phoned me and was like, "I think I killed my car." And I went to pick him up, and oh my god, a badger when you're doing 100 miles an hour. A badger is a stocky animal. Like there was a lot of damage to that car. But this same friend ploughed it into a puddle, and it hit the puddle so hard that water came up, blew the cover off the airbox.
Nice.
So then it just all the water just straight in, and that was another car that he kills by just hitting something too fast. And badgers, puddles, deer. He's written off a lot of cars driving too fast.
Yeah, one of my friends when we were kids wrote off a lot of cars. Yeah. And touch wood, I've still not written one off or had a proper accident. But like Sam, he gone by the time we passed the test when we were 17. By the time we were 21, he'd had something like 14 cars.
Whoa, that's achievement.
Some of those he sold though.
Okay, even so, man, that's still a lot of cars to get through.
I know. I was in a car crash with him once. That's what did my jawing. And then just always, like, Rambo, you got a new car.
Just constantly.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell?
Anyway, Steve, back to the news.
Yes.
That was quite the tangent.
That was a massive, but we like a good tangent.
We do like a good tangent, mate. There's not much going on at the moment, so the tangents are what pad the show out.
Yeah, there's not much going on. These guys are just all prepping up. There's a lot of social media posts about them sort of ramping up their fitness game now.
Exactly.
You know, Alessia's cycling, like, I don't know, 5,000 miles a day.
Yeah, standard.
Eating whatever. And then
knocking back like 5,000 calories as well.
Yeah. They're just all preparing, I think. Just getting themselves ready, last bit of chill, a few holidays, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So news is slow.
News is slow, but we have one bit of ex-MotoGP rider news here.
We do.
And this is Valentino Rossi, now obviously no longer a MotoGP rider. He has signed for Team WRT in the GT World Challenge Europe.
He has.
There's two categories of racing that goes on within the GT World Challenge. There is the endurance racing and the sprint racing. Two championships that happen pretty much at the same time. He will be contesting both. I get the impression that some drivers will only be contesting the sprint races, some will only be contesting the endurance races, but he's doing both. And he'll be doing so, like we say, with WRT and driving an Audi R8. We'll be using his classic number 46.
Always.
But it's kind of a shock to everyone because I think we all expected him to be driving a Ferrari.
Yeah, I did see this news article, and then when I read Audi, I was like, Audi?
Yeah, and then you think about it a bit more, and you're like, oh shit, obviously Audi's owned by Volkswagen. He's got links with Volkswagen because Ducati are owned by Volkswagen. So it does make sense.
It is all piece of a big puzzle. Yeah. I'm sure of it. So, yeah, I'm sure there's probably something in his Ducati contract that is like, you've got to ride an R8 or drive an R8. Sorry.
Yeah, I think he's also, there is talk of him wanting to go and do Le Mans.
Yes.
And we do know Audi are putting together a hypercar package for that. It's unlikely that Valentino Rossi is going to be in their factory hypercar package team, to be fair. That's unlikely. But, this could be a step. If he goes and fucking just dominates GT, which is unlikely, but not impossible.
Not impossible at all. Man, his talent I wouldn't be surprised at all if he doesn't do well.
I suspect we'll see him winning a few races.
I think so. Yeah, he's one of those sickening bastards.
He's just very good at racing.
Yeah, anything high speed. I think if you gave him a power boat, he'd just skim across the waves.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, without a doubt.
Aye, and then just sprout wings and fly.
Yeah, knock back a Red Bull. Oh, yeah, he's Monster sponsored.
Oh, controversy.
So the GT World Challenge Europe is a 10-round season, and most of the rounds actually clash with MotoGP. So it's unlikely that we're going to see him in and around the MotoGP paddock a lot, at least during this part of the season.
No, like you say, 10 rounds. So he'll be there.
He'll be there, I'm sure, but I think it's a very deliberate move from him to not be there all of the time.
I think so. I think he'll probably, family coming up.
Yeah.
He's obviously got other interests.
Yeah.
You're going to want to separate yourself a little bit.
That's exactly it.
So, and going forward, I'd want to make my presence, when I did return to the GP paddock, just a little bit special.
Yeah.
So people are going to be like, we always see the guys on the screen, like, MotoGP legend. But this guy's now got more interest, I think, than most other legends in the sport.
Oh, certainly.
With his team and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you're going to want to make that hype really hyped.
Mm-hmm.
So doing this separation, bring your family. If he brings his kid there, that first day is going to be nuts.
Yeah, fair.
Someone
Although
obscure.
when's the kid due?
Christ knows.
No, I don't know.
This year?
Good guess. That's probably safe. I like that.
We'll go that.
That's a good gamble, that one.
Yeah, we'll go this year. 2022, are we in? Yeah.
And if it's not this year, then the Valentino Rossi bloodline here, whether it's anything to do with him or to do with his other half here, is going to be studied rigorously by medical scientists.
Prodded. Mate, absolutely prodded. We're probably not going to see him that much. Qatar. Oh my God, we're going to see him at Qatar.
Do you think we're going to see him straight away?
I think we're going to see him straight away at Qatar. Team launch.
Good point. When is their team launch?
I don't think it's been announced yet.
We didn't talk about it last week.
I think he will be team launch, and if he's not at the team launch, he'll be at Qatar.
He'll be at the team launch, I'm sure. I'm not sure he will be at Qatar, but we'll wait and see.
I don't know. Yeah, that's speculation, and we will see.
Yeah, exactly. On that then, Steve, let's take a quick break.
Let's do it.
When we come back, we will dive into talking about Raul Fernandez.
Raul
Fernandez. I like to make him sound a bit like Zorro.
Sorry.
Anyway, we're going to have a quick break, guys. So bear with us just one moment and we will be right back with you. Thank you for bearing with us there, guys. We are back. Fresh beers in hand.
Here we go.
Oh, there it is.
Going for the double whammy.
Oh, that was a treat for all involved.
Yes, I thought I'd get involved in that one.
That was nice. I enjoyed that a lot. Before we dive into this one, guys, I do want to apologise if there's a weird buzzing sound every now and again. I think one or both of our mic cables are fucked, so we're going to be ordering new ones. But the rest of the sound quality seems fine. So I can only apologise if there's a weird buzzing noise every now and again. That's our bad, really. We need to upgrade our equipment again.
Again. We did change one of the cables, but it's probably... we can't tell which one it is now.
Yeah, we probably should have colour-coded them.
Yeah,
hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Damn good. Hindsight's a great thing.
Yeah, exactly. We'll colour-code them next time. We'll just write our name on with Sharpies.
Yep, we'll do that. I think it's exactly what happened before, wasn't it? We had a slight buzz-in.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just dodgy mic cable at this point, but it happens, man. We buy cheap mic cables and they don't last very long. So
no.
And mic cables don't last very long anyway, to be fair. They take a lot of abuse.
They do take a hammering.
Anyway, Raul Fernandez, Steve.
Raul
Fernandez.
Antonio
Banderas. I told you, I like Zorro a lot.
What does he do?
So this is the third of the 5 rookies we're talking about this year. We've discussed Fabio Di Giannantonio. We discussed Marco Bezzecchi last week. Raul Fernandez this week. Remy Gardner next week. And then Darren Binder the following week. Although there might be a gap while we talk about the testing, depending on how that falls with recording dates and stuff. But we'll see. So Raul Fernandez then, born the 23rd of October in the year of our Lord, 2000.
Year 2000.
Jesus Christ.
Mate, I was 19.
Is this our first MotoGP rider born in the year 2000?
I think it is. I really do think it is.
When was Quartararo born, actually? I feel like he's a young'un, isn't he?
He is quite young. Then.
Fabio Quarta. There we go. Google knows me well. I only had to type in Fabio and it came up. 1999 was Fabio.
Oh, he's close.
So I think he's our first rider to have been
I
born
believe so.
post-millennium.
90. Oh.
Sometimes, Steve, I quite enjoy these shows because when we read these dates out, you have this moment of going, oh, fuck. Every time.
It's just that realisation that I'm old. I get it all the time now.
Oh, God, mate. And you've probably got a good enough for 40 years ahead of you yet.
Oh, I know. It's going to be terrible. So when I get a new batch of apprentices at work, like, how old are you? 16? I'm like, fuck off.
You're like, do you shave? Oh.
There's one apprentice at work, mate. I swear to God, he don't shave.
No, I'm not surprised, mate.
He's
I was shaving at 16, but that was more of a vanity shave than an actual necessary shave. That was certainly, look how grown up I am with my razor.
Yeah, I think at that point I was just like, nah, fuck it, we'll do it anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly me. I was like, oh, yeah, it's starting to look a bit fluffy up top there. Better give that a quick shave. And that was once every 6 weeks.
Yeah, literally. So I shave about once every 6 weeks anyway. But I was like, oh my God, yeah, year 2000. That was a good year.
Yeah, was that a good year? I don't really. I was still, still living with my parents, obviously, at this point. Nothing really very exciting happened for me in the year 2000, I don't think. I was 10 years old, 9 years old. It wasn't an exciting year for me.
19 at the start, 20.
Nice, but that's always a good time of life, isn't it? Late teens, early 20s.
Party years, mate.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of fun to be had there.
Working hard, partying harder.
Exactly.
Usual stuff. Yeah.
Working drunk as well, sadly, most of the time. I'm drunk and hungover.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That was just a good time of life, mate. Spent a lot of time up in Leicester with mate Neil. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, happy days.
It was good.
There we go. And
while you were having it was being born.
Exactly. While you were having a great time, Raul Fernandez was being born. And then he was a relative latecomer to motorcycle racing, actually. He didn't ride a motorcycle till he was 11 years old.
Wow.
Which, when you look at the contingent of Spanish riders that he is a part of, it's very strange. They're all riding at like 4 or 5 years old.
That is quite unusual.
So he's quite a latecomer. He did some karting to start with, and then got into competitive motorcycle racing.
Yeah, that almost seems very synonymous with what we'd see over here.
Yeah, with like the British riders getting in very late, but he's obviously made full use of the Spanish feeder system, the Spanish training system, and his sheer level of talent. Obviously, if he's coming in at 11, he's lost 7 years on everyone else, and is still capable of now being in MotoGP after what is, as we will see, a relatively quick rise through the World Championship.
It is quite
MotoGP.
fast when you look at how he's gone and what we see of other people. How he's come about it's quite a whirlwind swoop to the top.
Yeah, certainly.
But like you say, shows the talent.
Exactly that.
Contrast to the others, but equally got him where he needs to be.
Yep, that's exactly it. And I mean, we saw that really a lack of experience doesn't hold this guy back. We saw this in Moto2 this year, or last year, where a lack of experience on a Moto2 bike really did not hold him back from being dominant in Moto2.
Oh, God, no. Turned up, crushed it.
Exactly.
Job done. Mic drop.
Quite. So 2014 is the first time he really stretches his legs in the real high levels of competitive motorcycle racing here. And it's when he competed in 2 races of the CEV Moto3 Championship. He did so with KTM, but retired from both of these races.
Still got there.
He's still got there, exactly. He's still there on a wild card. So happy days for him there. In 2015, he competed in Red Bull Rookies, after being scouted from 2014, and he scored 3 podiums and finished the season in 7th overall with 121 points. I did mean to look up who'd actually won these seasons so we can compare them to names, but I'll be honest, Steve, as you are fully aware, I sent you these notes about an hour before I turned up at your house. I was running very, very late with getting everything sorted for this week.
This was a bit of a whirlwind week for both of us, I think.
Yes, exactly.
We've both been really busy. We both work, so we don't have that much time to do notes. Some of mine are normally done like Monday night.
Yeah, exactly. I usually try and do my Monday night, maybe Tuesday morning. But yeah, this one was very late. I was up at Nottingham for a day or two with my family, so I've only just come back from that. Which is why we just it was a fucking long drive, Steve. Jesus Christ.
British roads, mate. Unless you go in complete north-south.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you're off that kind of north-south highway, you've got some crap. But I also chose what I thought was going to be a nice chill route. But last time I drove that nice chill route, it was New Year's Day, and there was no one around, and the road was beautiful. It was wonderful, and I really enjoyed it. And I tried to do that again, forgetting actually it's just a standard Tuesday afternoon at this point. So it's, not great. It took a long time to get back.
Getting across the East Coast here in the UK as well, it's pretty crap.
Yes, so
if you go on a journey, you could pretty much say nearly half of it is getting out of Norfolk.
Oh, easy, man. Easy. Up to, like I said, up to Nottingham. Most of the journey is getting out of Norfolk.
Yeah,
and
it is nuts.
Once you're out of Norfolk, the roads get pretty good. But I picked a route that had not single track roads, but single carriageway all the way.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be good, but it was not, as it turns out. So we'll not be doing that again.
No. Yeah, this week has just been busy for the both of us. So
yeah, exactly.
I always start out with the best intentions, like, right, I'm going to do my notes over the weekend. And then the boys were ill. So it was like, damn it.
It is what it is, but that's fine. Raul Fernandez then, back to that.
Yes.
As well as competing in Red Bull Rookies and doing very, very well, he competed in CEV Moto3 with KTM again. It was for 4 rounds. Well, no, he competed for 6 rounds in total.
He did.
4 of those are with KTM, 2 of those are with Husqvarna, which is essentially KTM.
Pretty much.
I think it's exactly the same chassis, isn't it? It's just
I think it is,
because KTM own
it's
literally everything.
Yeah, they do have their fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah. I remember as well, I'd only ever known Husqvarna as a motorcycle manufacturer.
Right.
I'd never known him as anything else until I was working at this hostel, and the owner was like, I need to mow the lawn. Can you come and give me a hand to get the lawnmower out? And I was like, yeah, how hard is it going to be? Big ride on lawnmower, obviously, and there's loads of shit in the way. This is why he needed a hand. But then it was just, as he pulled it out, I was like, that's a Husqvarna. He's like, yeah. I was like, what? Why have you got a Husqvarna lawnmower? He's like, because they make lawnmowers? I was like, no, they make motorcycles. He was like, well, clearly they make lawnmowers. Like, okay, I'll give you that. They clearly make lawnmowers. I can't argue that. But I thought they just make motorcycles. He's like, no, mate, they do.
Mate, a lot of machinery.
Chainsaws. It's a lot of proper working tools, isn't it? And then the motorcycle thing just appears to just be a side project. And I think it's a lot to do with the fact KTM own them.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Huskies, damn good bikes.
Good bike. Well, KTM's at this point. But it's the same KTM orange as well. His Husky lawnmower is exactly the same colour.
It is. So, a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, quite. But yeah, so he competed the 6 rounds overall, 2 of them with KTM, 4 of them with KTM, sorry. 2 of them with Husqvarna. He scored points in every outing and finished the season in 14th with 35 points in total. So this is quite a clear progression from just the 2 appearances before. He also obviously did very well in Red Bull Rookies.
Yeah.
So everything was great. 2016 saw another step up in both classes. Again, he raced in CEV Moto3 for Husqvarna again. He scored a win and 3 more podiums that year, and this was a full season.
Yep.
And finished 3rd overall with 137 points.
Nice progression.
And at the same time, he did another season of Red Bull Rookies, taking 2 wins of 4 more podiums on his way to finishing 3rd with 195 points.
Boy was busy. Yeah, certainly. He was. He put the graft in.
He certainly did, yeah.
I think this is where you find like his why his progression to the top, coming in at 11 years old, was pretty damn quick.
Yeah, it was.
He put the leg work in.
Exactly. And in 2016, he also raced for the first time in the Moto3 World Championship Grand Prix paddock. He was drafted in to replace the injured Maria Herrera, and he rode the KTM for the MH6 squad. Took an 11th place to score points on his maiden outing.
Not bad at all.
Now, MH6, was this a Maria Herrera team?
Oh, God, I don't know.
I don't know if this was a team just for her. Hence the name MH6 just made me think maybe that is Maria Herrera.
I think it could have been.
But I don't know that. I sort of speculate. I don't really remember. While I do remember seeing Maria Herrera and Anna Carrasco both racing in Moto3, I don't remember anything about the teams that they rode with.
Again, back then I was not paying much attention. So
but they were never at the front either, sadly. So they weren't spoken about week in, week out.
No. I would have... Judging by the name, I would imagine so.
Yeah, that would be my guess. But if we're wrong, guys, remember, we do have a Correction Corner jingle we need to be using. So please get in touch.
We do.
2017. I was about to say 2018. I was like, that's not right. I've missed a year here.
Skipping forward.
For 2017, Raul moved to Mahindra in CEV, which seems to be a weird choice. Why would you... I mean... There's obviously reasons we don't understand here, but it seems like a weird choice to go from the KTM Husky kind of setup to then move over to the Mahindra.
I don't know. I read it and I was like, that's such a weird step.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
For a guy that was clearly being successful. Like, it's not that he was like, oh my God, I need a ride, I'm going to have to jump on that Mahindra, or, oh my God, I'm just getting promoted a class. The Mahindra are giving me a chance here in the next class up. I've got to take this chance. It seems to be a very sideways, well, diagonally backward step.
It's a strange one. The only thing I can think of is it was a team decision. They filled his spot and he was left without a ride.
Yes.
So this was kind of the only option to take.
Yeah, potentially. And I guess there is something, as we will see when we talk about this year, where actually this gave him a chance to show what he could do again. But the CEV Mahindra move did not go to plan.
No.
Over the season, he had just 2 point-scoring finishes, both of which were at Valencia. He finished 4 races outside the points, had 5 DNFs, and 1 did not start. It was a big... At the start of the year, I think it was a run of DNF, DNS, DNF, DNF. Then he had a couple of point scorers, nothing, DNF. Like, it really wasn't an ideal year.
No, compared to like the season before, that's a really bad step.
Certainly. He also had 3 wildcard entries into Moto3 World Championship again on the Aspar Mahindra. He scored no points across these 3 races, scoring 25th, 22nd, and a DNF. I do wonder whether maybe the move to Mahindra and CEV was with the promise of these wildcards in the World Championship, and maybe that's part of what... And this is, again, all speculation on my part. I've got absolutely no idea. But maybe this is part of why he went, yeah, okay, I'll sign for Mahindra, because that's going to give me those 3 wildcards. I can really show what I can do. Let's hope for the best here.
I think that could have been the case. It makes more sense. If you're offered a way to showcase your talent, and this is going to then potentially throw you in to the limelight. There's a Mahindra.
Yes.
We've spoken about taking the hard road to showcase your talent, but if you're going to do it, it's win it or bin it. You can't go to Mahindra and then back then, and have this kind of result.
Yeah, exactly.
So in my eyes, looking at that is almost at that level a not career ending, but career finishing move at that point.
Yeah.
He's so young. Yes, he's got time to bounce back.
It's a brave move.
It is a bold move. You've got to have big balls to do that.
Certainly.
But luckily for him, it all worked out well.
It did work out well, considering what happened that year, because you think there's that kind of the 2 point scoring finishes in CEV, no points in the Moto3 World Championship here.
No.
You think teams would start to go, oh, maybe we're not as keen. But thankfully for Raul here, in 2018, he moved back to KTM to challenge for the CEV title.
Aye.
And challenge he did, Steve.
He certainly did.
3 wins, 4 podiums, and no finish lower than 8th all season meant he wrapped up the title with 209 points.
That's more like it.
That's that kind of calibre that you go, oh, I can see why this guy's here.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe in hindsight, looking at that, you look at the 2018 results, that 2017 blip would actually be a plus on his CV.
Yeah, I think so. Because you've dropped him onto machinery that's a bit shit, and he's just gone, I really can't ride this, but give me a good bike and I can do it. And then you give him a good bike and he proves to you he can do it. Yeah,
I mean, like, look at the last 2 guys we spoke about. They moved to the Mahindra, did relatively well, and just went the long road to showcase their talent. You've then got the polar opposite, where you go there, you think, right, I'm going to showcase my talent. It doesn't work. You then get the lucky break of picking up another ride, and you bounce instantly back.
Exactly, that's where he should have been the whole time. It's an interesting point, though, because he's so young now. Imagine if that 2017 season hadn't happened, he was still on the KTM, you bump everything back, maybe 2018 happens in 2017, all of a sudden he's in MotoGP in 2021 at 20 years old. Like, it's fast.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably very good for his career that he had this bad season.
I think so. I'm with you on that one. I think that will just show if he'd have had a good ride, where he would be now.
Yeah.
Although at the time, he's probably going, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah, exactly.
Please give me a ride somewhere. Looking back on it, hindsight's a great thing. It's just going to be a winner.
Yeah, exactly. It really was just a bad blip of a year.
Yeah, just a bit.
So 2018, as well as winning CEV, Fernandez appeared 4 more times in Moto3 World Championship as a wildcard. This time he rode KTM machinery for the Aspar team. He scored points on 3 of the 4 occasions, 2 of which were inside the top 10.
Not bad.
I think one of those, actually, I think 3 of the 4 were for the Aspar team. I think he might have ridden for the factory or for the Akiayo KTM squad on one of those wildcard entries as well. But I might be very wrong about that. I don't really remember 2018 very well. It was a while ago. I've drunk a lot of beer since then, Steve.
I can't. Again, I think it's about the time where I really started to throw a lot of attention to it. So it's all still a little bit hazy.
Yeah.
You know, if it's last year, yes, I'd be able to recall it a bit better.
Yeah, exactly.
But 2018...
There's just a lot of names to remember when you start looking at Moto3. You're like, we were just doing this before we got back to recording after the break. We were just looking at the amount of entrants in 2019,
God,
actually, we looked at that were competing in Moto3. And over the season, it was 52 entrants.
That's so many people. And like we had the discussion about, right, name some.
Well, we listed, didn't we? You and I went back through the list, the bottom 20 of those, and we recognised 4 of the names.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Sorry, try to talk for a beer can there.
Yeah, it was a...
There's the Dalek. The Dalek is back. My bad.
The Dalek has returned.
Yeah, it's amazing when you look back at the number of people that competed in that season.
Yeah.
And the number of names that would have been televised.
Certainly.
You know, the guys that would have actually got some television time and the names put out there.
Yeah.
And the rest are just doing their best.
But you've got to be at the front. If you're not at the front, people aren't talking about you. And if they're not talking about you, you're not promoted up into the next category.
Exactly. Lower classes, you have no choice but to absolutely crush it.
Exactly.
Which is a shame. I've always wondered how many guys slip through the net just because they've hopped on this, use the Mahindra again, and it's just crushed their... absolutely destroyed their career.
I bet it's quite a few people
I bet it's a lot.
to. Quite a few people that were certainly worthy of being promoted and worthy of, if they'd been given a good bike, would have had a better experience. But I think we also get a lot of people coming into Moto3 and into the Grand Prix paddock that really, while astounding motorcycle racers, just aren't suited to Grand Prix like Grand Prix machinery. Yeah. And then you see them hopping over into World Supersport or onto World Superbikes. You're like, oh my God, give them a slightly more malleable chassis, a few more sophisticated electronics, give them a different tyre set, a kind of different setup, and oh my God, they are incredible.
Yeah.
So exactly. Sometimes the Grand Prix machinery just doesn't gel with a rider.
No, you've got to find your little sweet spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you say, sometimes it's just a completely different series.
Yeah, that's it. You look at, there's plenty of examples of this throughout history. You look at Shaky Byrne in British Superbikes, dominant in British Superbikes, had some Grand Prix experience, didn't do very well, didn't do very well at World Superbikes, but in British Superbikes, crushed it. Keenan Sofawoglu, crushed it in World Supersport, moved to Superbikes, didn't do very well, back to Supersport, crushed it again. There's just some people just suit a class, a type of bike, and they suit it down to a T.
Absolutely. You've just got to find your little niche and stick with it.
Yeah, exactly that.
All right. Experiment, don't get me wrong. But when you find what you're good at, stick with it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And when we look at this 2018 season, like we say, we had 4 wildcard entries, and 2 of those gave him top 10 finishes, man.
That's not bad.
It's not bad for a wildcard. You'd be very, very happy with this as a wildcard outing for the year.
Oh, absolutely. Normally you think of a wildcard and you think, it's been given a ride because it's in their contract, they've been promised this.
Oh my God, they might score a point. Imagine if they score a point. Wow, it'd be great.
But then to suddenly find yourself in the top 10, you're just like racing with these incredible guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And talented guys. And you're like, well, look at this long train of people behind me that I'm beating.
Yeah, exactly that.
And all of a sudden you're just waving your flag.
These guys that know these circuits, the guys that know these bikes, that know who they're racing here. And I'm coming in from what is at the moment, well, it is a category below CEV or Red Bull Rookies up to Moto3. It is a category below. But I'm coming in, I'm beating most of them, I'm scoring points. Happy days. The confidence boost that much give you, man.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. Ego must be through the roof.
Yeah, quite.
I'd be walking, strutting out there like Conor McGregor.
It's like every time you get a new tattoo, you walk out of the tattoo shop like, oh, you see anything you like? Oh, no, Billy Big Bollocks over here. It'd be that kind of strut all the time.
Yep. Still wrapped up, but look at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Then you go to peel it off, you're like, ow, ow, ow. Yeah. Don't look at this bit.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, please don't see me crying while I'm doing this.
Dying in pain over here.
Yeah. So 2019 then, Steve. After Raul shone in 2018, 2019 was his chance to step up full-time into the Moto3 paddock, Moto3 World Championship. And he did so with Aspar, still riding KTMs. Across the season, he had 10 point scoring finishes and ended the season 21st overall with 60 points, which is a relatively good rookie season.
It is.
It's not the best we've ever seen.
No.
I mean, actually, the best we've ever seen is probably Pedro Acosta.
I'd say so.
I think Loris Capirossi did it too in his rookie season.
I think so, yeah. From what I can remember, that's a long time ago now.
I think it's early 90s, man. That's a really long time ago.
It's a long time back. Off the top of my head, he had a very good rookie season.
I think he won it on his rookie season as well, didn't he?
I think he might have done.
But aside from those two, that's not a standard rookie season. This kind of finishing 21st, having those point scoring finishes in 50+% of the races, 21st overall, that's a good rookie season. We're
That
happy
is
with
a good rookie season.
and it was enough because for 2020, Raul moved across to the Akiayo KTM team. And as we know in Moto 3 and in Moto 2, the Akiayo squad is just like one of the best squads to be on.
You know you've made it if you've landed there.
Yeah, and you know you've got a chance at this title. The pressure must be pretty big once you sign a contract with Akiayo.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's a really nice contract to sign. You're probably going to sit at home and look at it for a little bit.
You're probably going to get paid more than any other contract you sign, to be fair, up until this point.
Yeah.
Good win bonuses, I'd imagine, coming.
Just a bit. Yeah, I'd think so. A few new bikes coming your way.
And there'd be me, like, I know Akiayo is quite good friends with Valtteri Bottas, the Formula 1 driver. So I'd be like, I tell you what, shave 10k off there and just give me a meeting with Valtteri. Just go out for a couple of drinks.
Shave 20 off and let me have a drive.
Yeah. I'm not sure the driver of the Formula 1 car, much like the rider of the MotoGP bike, actually has a say in who rides or drives their machinery.
Can you imagine if someone like you were Valtteri Bottas or someone like that, let's just pick his name out there, or Max Verstappen, anyone, and all of a sudden someone who's been on a promise somewhere had delivered what they were asked to deliver,
my God, yeah.
and rolls into your garage looking smug as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? Why are you getting in my car?
Yeah, you're like, it's my turn, bro.
Yeah. What?
But this is an interesting point, isn't it? Because I imagine there are certain drivers in Formula 1 that almost have that power. I imagine Lewis Hamilton is someone who almost has that power. I imagine Max Verstappen is someone that almost has that power. Much like in MotoGP. Valentino Rossi is probably someone that almost has that power. Marc Marquez is someone that almost has that power. And I'm sure if they had someone that was fully capable of riding or driving that machinery and were like, look, go on. It'll be cool. Go on. Just help them out. Be a mate. I bet they could have some sway involved.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, but it's just the perks that come with it.
Quite.
I mean, just to get in that garage, most people would settle that.
That's 100%.
Yeah, and we do hear of these guys, mainly the riders, every now and again getting to have a go.
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine it? Just
I can't imagine it, actually.
Just, when you're in a position where your job gives you that perk.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts, mate.
Yeah, quite.
Absolutely nuts.
So in this 2020 season then, on the Akiayo KTM bike, he scored points in all but one race. He took 2 wins and stood on the podium 2 more times. Now, 2020 was the truncated season. There was only 14 rounds. 15 rounds for Moto 3.
Yeah, because they had Qatar.
So it had been a 15-round season. So scoring points in 14 races, taking 2 wins and standing on the podium 2 more times, actually, that's quite a good percentage. A very good percentage.
That's not bad at all, mate.
I didn't write down where he finished this season, Steve.
2020?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
No, I did not. I've let myself down, Steve. I've let the team down.
I think, considering you did the notes all by yourself.
Thank you.
With my very much lack of health. Well, pretty much lack of health.
You're like, oh, don't be saying you lack of health, Steve. You can get people worried.
Well, we're still recovering, technically.
by law, we're still recovering.
Yes, you go by the doctors, yeah.
Okay, so he finished 4th overall in 2020 with 159 points. But if you just go back and look at what else happened that year, Iagura finished 3rd above him on 170, just 11 points clear. Tony Arbolino finished 2nd, also on 170 points, so still 11 points clear. And Albert Arenas won on 174 points. So it was literally a race win in it.
Jesus.
Not even a race win, actually.
No.
Not a race win at all, 15 points.
That shows how well that move paid off.
Well, quite.
And what you could do on that bike.
So he had 1 retirement that year and a couple of kind of low point finishes. He had a 12th, a 10th, and 9th. But, you know, it was a close year for only his second full-time year in the class. Like, he arguably was fighting for the title. But most of his points came at the end of the season, to be fair.
Yeah, once he gelled with it, got used to it.
Yeah, exactly. I think both wins came at the very end of the season, didn't they?
Yes.
One in the European Motorcycle Grand Prix, which took place in Ricardo Tormo. Wait, isn't Ricardo Tormo in Argentina?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Let me keep looking. I'm just going to click this link here and see if I recognise the look of the track.
Ricardo's...
Oh, it's Valencia. Is that also the Ricardo Tormo circuit? That's embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah, circuit Ricardo Tormo. Maybe the Argentina one. What's the Argentina one?
Rio de Hondo.
Rio de Hondo. Oh, see, I'm getting confused.
Hondo being that character from that Western.
Was Hondo a character in a Western?
Yeah.
Okay. You know more about than me. Isn't Gauchos are in Argentina, aren't they? They're like the South American cowboys. The Gauchos, I think.
You'd have to ask my dad. He's all into his... Well, he was. Jesus. Just resurrected him. Welcome back, Dad.
Just sits down for a chat. And after embarrassing myself about not knowing where certain cowboys come from, we're back here. So he had a win at Valencia and then another win at Portimao. There was also a third place at Valencia. So it was, his points were very heavily truncated towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
But he was still well within championship contention. If he had a
absolutely.
start of the season, he'd have been definitely fighting for the championship.
Yeah. Well, imagine just winning it on your second outing. Just moving to that team and just crushing it.
Yeah, I imagine that's happened in Moto3 a lot. You
I
win
think
it on your
it
second
has,
attempt.
yeah.
It's the winning on your first attempt that's a very, very rare thing.
It is. Boy just rose so quickly. I like him. I really like him.
Yeah, I think he's fun. I think he's also... I think it's because he's young. He's very emotional, and sometimes he said things, and I'm like, you're such a prick. Yeah. And I think this is... I'm quite enjoying going to see... I'm really hoping that in MotoGP he maybe becomes that villain, the guy that I love to hate. I'm sort of thinking he might do, but it's only going to work if he's winning, and I really hope he's winning, because I do actually really like him at the moment.
Yeah, I really, really like him. I just want to see him do well. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm kind of with you on that one, because he's so young and just speaks his mind.
Yeah.
I can't help but love it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And every time, like last year, he was on camera, I was just like, go on, say something. Bless him.
So 2021 rolls around, Steve. Raul has done enough now. Aki Ayo has gone, do you know what, mate? You're pretty good. I'm going to bump you up to my Moto2 squad and we'll see what you can do.
All right.
And oh my God, mind-blowing what he could do.
Was just nuts, mate.
I do remember still, Steve, and I'm sure we could go back and listen and find the exact quote, but I remember the first race of the year in 2021. I think I said 2022. Anyway, it doesn't matter. 2021. First race of the year. We were doing his first time. We've now gone through the top 5 finishers in Moto3 and Moto2 before we dive into our MotoGP race review. And I remember saying, like, oh my God, he's finished 5th in his first race. And like, this is a kid to watch. Like, wow, this is an impressive performance. And then he just went on to score a podium in the next round. And a win in the next round. And like, oh my God, he just went on this massive tear. And he was exciting from day one.
He was, yeah. Just lit the place up.
It was incredible. It was such an outstanding year. His rookie season in Moto2, and it took him 2 races to stand on the podium, like we've said, and 3 to win.
That's
like,
nuts.
Just that. This is Marc Marquez levels of bullshit going on here.
That is, yeah. If you want to make an impact, I think there's 2 ways of doing it when you move up like that. Either do something insane, like we just wipe out the front of the pack, and everyone remembers
that. Get a 4-race ban on your first try.
Everyone remembers that, or just come out and do this.
Yeah, exactly. And this is maybe a better way of doing it.
I think it's definitely a better way of doing it. But you've got to shine.
Exactly.
You've got to just sparkle in the sunlight like a Twilight character.
Oh, that was good, man. That was a nice...
You like that one?
Yeah, good Twilight reference.
That's only because Sarah watched it the other night. It's the first thing that popped in there.
And it's funny because as soon as you said sparkle in the sunlight, I was like, oh, like Edward Cullen.
Yeah.
It was my first thought. And then you went and name-dropped Twilight. I was like, oh, Steve, that's
We're
good.
We're on point.
Yeah, I like that
love
a lot.
It. Yeah, you've just got to come out and just rock it.
Exactly.
And this guy, last year, just, oh my God, mate.
It was something spectacular.
Yeah. I mean, sorry.
I was going to say, across the year, he won 8 races and stood on the podium 4 more times. So it was 12 podiums in his rookie year, 8 race wins, beating Marc Marquez's rookie year, I think, who did he have 7?
Yes, I believe it was 7. Can't remember offhand without looking it up. Let us know if you do know.
It was either 7 or 8. He either beat or drew. I think he beat it. I think Marquez might have had 7 in his
So I remember us talking about him taking a Marquez.
Yeah, exactly.
A Marquez title accolade.
Exactly. And Marquez should have won the title that year. If it wasn't for his eye injury, he probably would have won the title that year. But and again, you could argue that Ralph probably should have won the title this year. But 3 DNFs cost him big time.
That is the bit that really did it.
Yeah, he finished 2nd overall with 307 points, and that was second to only his teammate Remy Gardner, who had something like 311, but I can't actually remember that exactly, so I'm just going to be Googling that very quickly.
It was close, wasn't it? He had to finish... I can't remember the exact point standing.
Let me have a look. My Wikipedia page is loading. It's
Loading
slowly, but it's loading. So Remy Gardner finished on 311 points.
Right.
So Raul Fernandez was 4 points shy. But you just look at the season both of them have, and we'll be talking about Remy Gardner again next week, so I'm not going to dive too deeply into it.
No.
But Remy had 1 DNF across the season. Raul Fernandez had 3. That's the championship there.
Yeah.
The championship is the person that finished more races than the other.
Yeah, even if he finished on the podium, just those 16 points, whatever it is, from third.
Well, I mean, that would have been enough.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to finish anywhere near the podium. If he'd have scored 5 points in one of those races that he crashed, he'd won. And that's what's 5 points, 10th place?
Yeah.
11th place? 10th place? Oh, fuck it, who knows?
Down there.
Something like that. We do this every time.
Yeah. We really should put the... Oh, that was my ankles.
Or just stick it up on the wall.
Yeah.
Just have the points table there.
Really should get some notes on this wall. But the trouble is, if I do that, Enzo's just going to come in and decorate it.
Oh, yeah, good point. We'd be like, what is 10th place? Oh, a 10th place is a yellow daisy. 10th place is yellow daisy. That's what they get for 10th.
No one here would be a dinosaur.
A bright blue dinosaur. Not even got feathers. Not even a factually correct dinosaur.
Not even feathers.
So, after an astounding rookie year in Moto2, and it was nothing short of astounding, it really was incredible.
The entertainment they gave us last year, all of them.
The Akiayo dominance was just madness.
Oh, I know, just the two of them would have entertained us all year.
Yeah.
But then you chucked in like Sam Lowe's into the mix as well, because he was a little unknown entity.
He was
a while.
guy that, when we said this last week, actually, when he was on form, he could win easily. But Sam Lowe's is very much Sam Lowe's in that even if
British.
he's on form, he can sort of crash a lot.
Yeah, he's very British, Cal Crutchlow.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this is a good point, because this seems to be a thing with British GP riders. I hadn't really considered it before. If you're at the pointy end, you're probably going to be crashing a lot.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's really annoying.
Because who's the after Cal in our recent times? Who are we thinking of British GP riders here? Sam Lowe's had a very crashy season in GP, dropped back down to Moto2.
Oh my Christ!
We had Bradley Smith, who scored a handful of podiums but didn't really do anything astounding.
That was Neil Hodgson.
Well, Scott Redding as well, handful of podiums, didn't do anything astounding.
No.
And then you're then looking at the Neil Hodgson, the Shaky Byrne era.
Yeah, Toseland,
good point.
Had a
Toseland was on there for a while. Yeah, but again, what did Toseland do?
not like the foil on fire.
No.
We
he's British, isn't he?
Yeah, he's British. We breed superbike riders over here.
Worst 100%, but that's because that's what our feeder system is.
Yeah.
You go through British superbikes and stuff, and that's a superbike. Like then now he's a Moto3 series that follows with the BSP paddock, and obviously we've now got the Honda Talent Cup and stuff that follows that as well. Sometimes it's off by itself. So there is now these steps, but there hasn't been.
Yeah, it's taken us a long while to catch up.
Yeah.
We know like Michael Laverty, who's on BT Sport, he's got his academy.
Yeah,
which is going to run a team, so that the progression is now there.
Yes,
but predominantly we have been a superbike producing country.
And I don't know this, but I would guess that Brits have more World Superbike titles than any other nation.
I believe so. When you look at like Foggy, who dominated.
Yeah, for 3 years. 4 titles.
Yeah.
Johnny Ray's 6 titles. That's 10
Jesus,
titles.
however many. You go back through it, you start looking at your Jeff Dukes. People like that from the early eras.
But Jeff Duke would have been Grand Prix racing.
Yes, I believe so. But I believe he had a spell in superbikes as well. People
because he also had successes around the Isle of Man and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, he's just one of those all rounders.
But then the Isle of Man for a very long time was part of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's weird. If you read Carl Fogarty's book, you start going into like the Formula One part of the motorcycle.
Oh my god, I forget that like Formula 1? Was that what it was called?
Yeah, something like that. I'll have to dig the book out in a bit.
Yeah, there was that weird motorcycle racing series for a few years that was just strange.
Yeah, it was just kind of lost.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, World Superbikes was born.
Yeah.
And it kind of just swallowed up.
Wasn't it A1? Wasn't that a racing series or something as well?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
It was all a bit weird.
Yes, certainly.
I think there was obviously a lot of tracks, but then there was more road racing back then.
A ton of road racing then. Yeah. Because now, obviously, you're not racing road racing anywhere in the mainland UK.
No.
You can road race. Can you road race in Northern Ireland?
I don't know.
Oh, so you can road race in Ireland.
Yeah.
Don't know if you can road race in Northern Ireland.
I think you can.
In Northern Ireland.
I believe so. But
so that would be the only place in the UK you can road race.
Yeah.
Isle of Man's
we
not
have
part of the UK.
races over here which are on roads. Like you have what is it called? Scarborough Mount? I can't remember exactly what it's called, but they do take part on British roads.
Oh, do they? Okay, I didn't realise this. I thought Arrow Road Racing anywhere near us was Ireland. And
No,
the Isle of
Oliver's
Man.
Mount.
Oliver's Mount, okay.
Yeah, I believe parts of it were on British road. I don't, apart from BSB. Or is it a hill climb? Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Could be a hill climb, but you need a road for a hill climb, so.
Yeah, I can't remember. Apart from BSB, I really don't watch that much over here.
No, I don't.
Which is criminal, because there is a lot of racing.
There's tons of racing. You and I often, well, not often, but every now and again, we'll just pop up to a club race meet somewhere and just
go.
Go.
Last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was fantastic.
Go watch club racing.
Yeah, just watch those guys bazz around for a day.
And it's a really good way, actually, if no one's ever been to a club race in your local circuit, it's a really good way to get into your local circuit for cheap when there's hardly anyone there. You will be able to walk around the entire circuit. Obviously, you can't go to the garages, you can't use stuff, but you'll be able to get to all of the cool viewing points that you wouldn't be able to get to on a BSB weekend or on a bigger weekend because there's too many people.
Yeah, look what it was like when we were there. We went down the back straight.
Which is my favourite place anyway, actually, at Snetterton, is the far end there.
Yeah, we had that entire section to ourselves.
Oh, yeah, we could walk for, I don't know what
half
it takes.
a mile.
What it takes to get to the bridge, 15, 20 minutes to get from the bridge from where we were, and you wouldn't see a soul.
No, but on a BSB weekend, you wouldn't be able to move.
No, exactly. A BSB
it would
weekend
be
is packed.
10 deep, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And we had this entire section of track to ourselves.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Spoiled for choice.
It's a really nice time to go to a circuit during a club race or an amateur race meet or something.
Yeah, we have to do some more. And like you say, everyone forgets about it.
Mm-hmm.
The track's still there. The track is open. You know, you don't even have to go to bike racing.
I've been to plenty of club car racing meets and stuff.
I have as well. There's some really weird race series over here. There's like the 2CV.
Oh, they're the fun ones, though, man.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're a bit like watching Moto3. You're like, oh my god, these guys are all just glued together.
Yeah, just stuck bumper to bumper.
Yeah, it's fun.
Spectacular racing. But yeah, if you get the opportunity, go watch some of the weird and unusual race series at your local track.
Yeah, and it's cheap to get in, man. It costs us what, like £10 each maybe to get into Snetterton?
I think it was that. I think it was about £8 each for the day.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas you go BSB, you're looking at 30 quid a ticket or something just for the day.
Yeah.
So it's just a significantly cheaper way to just go in and because it's the same smells, it's the same sights, it's the same noises. It's still a burger van. There's still someone serving beer. It's a great day out.
And if you're really lucky and honest, you get free chips.
You do get free chips, which works out nicely.
I did get free chips, and it was fantastic. They were good chips as well.
Chips. It was good burger vans, mate. Burger vans are where it's at. 2022, anyway, Steve.
Moving on.
Fernandez becomes only the third rider in history to be promoted to MotoGP after just a single year in Moto2. The other two are Maverick Vinales and Johan Mir, both of whom had much weaker Moto2 seasons, but have gone on to be, as I've written in the notes here, pretty competent MotoGP riders.
I like that. Yeah, they're all right.
One of them has a single win and a championship. The other one has a good chunk of wins, but no championship.
No.
Which must be annoying.
Yeah.
It's got to be annoying, actually, if you're Vinales to look across at Mir and be like, fuck.
Well, imagine if
he's won a single race, the prick. I've won more than that in, a season. He's won one race and he's a champion.
Imagine if they pulled... attacking my laptop. They pulled these guys into a press conference just for that reason.
Yeah.
They've been promoted after that. You got Mir sitting there. He's like, well, I was world champion.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I nearly did the unthinkable and won it without winning a race.
Which I still think would have been better.
Oh, that would have been fucking amazing.
I remember talking about it at the time. We spoke about it at the time. You can probably scroll back through and find the podcast episodes. But I do remember saying I think I'd be stoked if he did it without a win.
We were willing it.
Yeah,
we were sat here
exactly.
desperate for it to happen. Then he won that race. We're like, oh, you fucked it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, now you've got to win loads more because otherwise people would be like, well, you only won one race.
Yeah, exactly. It win it or bin it on that one.
Yeah.
But imagine sitting there and you're Vinales with all these wins, no championship, and this smug twat sat next to you. It's like, did it.
Yeah, exactly. Mic drop.
Yeah, fuck you, get out.
Yeah, I'm away.
Yeah. Where's your Yamaha career?
So, Raul Fernandez, it come 2022, like we say, only the third rider to have achieved a single season in Moto2, then get a MotoGP promotion, and he's going to be riding for the Tech 3 KTM squad. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing this, man.
I am, mate. I cannot wait. He is on my radar, as well as everyone else's. He's going to be swamped by media.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, everyone's going to be on this. It'll be all over everything. All the other podcasts will be doing it. GP1 will be doing something on bed chairs. We'll give up on them one day.
I'm very pro. I feel like if we have to mention them, it sort of has to be in like a really disparaging, insulting manner.
One day they're going to come back.
It's the same way I talk about the sun. Like, it's the same. I talk about GP1 in the same tone of voice as I talk about the sun. And that's really not an appreciative tone. I just wish neither of them existed. It would be much better for all of us.
Oh, to clarify for people around the world, the Sun is a newspaper we get here in the UK that
it's one of our raggy right-wing tabloids.
Yeah, you're going to wrap your chips in it on a Friday night.
Exactly. It's not a good paper, but every country has their shitty tabloids, and this is our. As everyone listening is fully aware of my political affiliations here, like, it's not the tabloid of choice for me. No. I do, and to be fair though, I regularly read The Sun because it's nice to know what they're saying, because it's very easy to argue against. So when you meet a Sun reader who's been like, "Well, I read this in the paper," I'm like, "You read down The Sun, mate, and here's why that is wrong." Like, it's very nice.
Sit your ass down and prepare to be corrected.
Yeah. It took me a very long time to realise that there's some people I can do that to, and some people that are just like, "Tim, why are you such a fucking prick? Just shut up."
I avoid. No, let's not go down the news.
No, okay.
Let's not do it.
We'll move it on, eh? We've had
that's for the
our current affairs mention of Novak Djokovic and Novak Djokovic earlier.
When we start the Friday night show.
Yeah, exactly.
We're absolutely bladdered. We'll talk about it.
Tim and Steve do politics. No,
let's not do politics.
Let's not. So yeah, like we say, he's going to be riding Tech 3 KTM. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what this bike's going to look like this year.
Yes, yeah. So far, they've not changed it much, if at all.
I think they will, because I can't imagine KTM are going to be happy to pony up the cash for a title sponsor again for what is the second KTM team. Which, when you look at it, if you didn't know MotoGP at all, you'd look at the two and you'd be like, the Red Bull KTM team and the KTM team. So the KTM team must be the factory team, and the Red Bull one are just like a satellite team. But it's the complete opposite switch to that. It's not good branding.
No, it's not good to understand. So, I don't know. It's either going to be a very shock look to what we're used to, or it's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, part of me hopes it's the same, because I love that livery.
I fucking love it, mate. After seeing it at Silverstone, I fell in love with it even more.
Yeah.
I love the look of it. I just like that orange-black combo. I think it looks
I still remember at the time, mate, it was around this time last year when it came out. I was up in Scotland, and I was like, "Cherie, look at this."
I did the same thing.
It's just like, what am I
Not to Cherie.
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing up in Scotland, mate? You didn't even tell me you were there. Rude." No, but I showed it to everyone. Everyone, like the housemates would come in and be like, "What are you up to?" But like, look at this. They're like, "It's an orange bike. What is it?" I was like, "Oh my god, you guys just don't know." And just turn my computer back and just not talk to anyone.
Yep.
The owners of the hostel would come in. I'd be like, "Brian, check this out." He's like, "It's an orange KTM." I'm like, "Well, at least you know it's KTM. That's up on everyone else here. But you're not excited about it," and that upsets me.
Yeah, I was surrounded because there's loads of people at work that love it. And I bowled into work. I was like, "You've seen this? Fuck it. Yes, I've seen it." I was polar opposites. Well, happy little giddy child.
Yeah, that's what you want, mate. That's the exciting bit.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do with the livery. Because even the Red Bull Organics livery was really good.
It was, yeah. It's always good. KTM do not disappoint.
No, exactly.
I think from the very off, we were all giddy over it, both of us.
So, mate, it's still my favourite motorcycle livery of all time.
Yeah. So, just want to announce when it's going to be.
Yeah, and it'll be soonish. And they'll do the reveal at the same time, and I'm sure it'll be at least within a couple of days of the factory KTM.
I think so.
And the factory KTM isn't going to change much.
If at all.
Yeah, exactly.
We might see a little tweak here and there.
It might be gloss rather than matte.
Yeah, they might ring up Honda and be like, "What have we got to do to make this fantastic?" We're like, "Nothing."
Honda will be like, literally nothing. Honestly, just leave it. Maybe change the white to black every now and again, but that's about all you need to do.
Yeah. HRC or Honda's design team just remind me a lot of Michael Bublé.
Same thing every Christmas, but still it gets number one.
Yeah, exactly that. Just come out your little box, just roughly around the first snow of the year, and just release some song that's been released 100 times before, crush it, and go back to bed.
And all the middle-aged mums love it.
Yeah, a swoon over you, and it's like, oh.
I'm not sure all the middle-aged mums love HRC, actually, to be fair. But
middle-aged dads, then.
Yeah, that's a fair point. A middle-aged parent. Good point. Yeah, okay.
That one. So, yes, they'll probably be waking up about now. Just to go, resend.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Steve, that kind of brings us to the end of the Raul Fernandez section there.
It does, buddy.
We have a quick mention. It would normally be our question segment, but this is actually in relation to Antonio's question last week that you and I spent a little bit of time shooting the shit on and giving our opinions on. And then Callum from our Facebook group also chimed in, and he had this to say, and this is for you, Antonio. So this is coming from a fellow listener. And it says, my advice to Antonio, and I've just put in who asked this question last week about starting to ride later in life, is that he mentioned he likes Harleys and wanted a Fat Boy. And Callum says here, however, at least for the first kind of 6 months or so, he'd ride something more user-friendly. And he's listed a few bikes here. There's a CB500 Honda, Suzuki GS500, Kawasaki ER6, Yamaha FZ6. All of these bikes are similar types. All of these bikes are similar, are lighter, much more easily handling, much better handling, and much more forgiving of mistakes. And this makes a lot of sense to me, actually. The riding position is probably a bit different to a Fat Boy, but I can confirm I had a Suzuki GS500. Wonderful machine. My second favourite bike ever. I had a Kawasaki ER5, which is actually in your driveway at the moment, Steve.
It is. Must do something with it.
Yeah.
There are plans.
Yeah, quite. And that's the ER5 is exactly the same frame as the ER6, but it's just a 100cc smaller engine.
Yeah.
I've ridden an FZ6 when I was doing my bike lessons.
Never ridden an FZ6.
That was nice. And I've never ridden a CB500. I had a CB250, which was also a wonderful machine.
I passed my test on a CB500.
Okay.
And that was really nice to ride.
I think that's the same as the GS500, same as the R5, isn't it?
Just
in that
really
kind
bad.
of bracket. But all of those are wonderful handling
They
machines.
are. Yeah, they will. All serve you really well.
Mm-hmm.
Just look after them, take care of them like you would any other bike, and they'll all serve you every weekend. They will not disappoint.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all that kind of naked kind of bike, aren't
it's
they?
open-fared, sit up and beg style.
But they're nice. They handle nicely. They get a good lean angle on them, where it feels like a good lean angle on the road, which actually, if you look at it, is probably like 10 degrees. But it feels like a lot.
When you look at your hero patch on your tyre, it's about 2 inches wide.
That's exactly the case.
You ain't going all the
certainly a lot like that.
Yeah, my first one was as well.
The chicken strips, you're like, ooh, turns out I'm more chicken than strip.
Yeah, but at the time when you're leading it in, you're like, my knee must be on the floor.
You're like, oh my God, my knee is so close. And you look down, you're like, oh, my knee's barely off the tank.
Yeah, exactly. Stick it out a bit more, no then.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that. Just have fun on it.
Yeah, but it's true. These bikes are very, very forgiving of mistakes and are very good user-friendly style bikes. But do you know what? At the same time, as Callum says, like this is really solid advice. But if you are really heart set on a Harley and that's what you're going to do later anyway, part of me says maybe just try the Harley experience and just see what it feels like.
Like we said last time.
Test rides.
Yeah, exactly that. Go pick one of these bikes up, see how you get on with it. Test them all. Take Callum's list and just go through the lot.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've got a Honda dealer, a Suzuki dealer, a Kawasaki dealer, a Yamaha dealer, and a Harley dealer anywhere near you, you're fucking golden.
Yeah, book them out for a weekend, then just take them back.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't crash them.
And then make sure you take it back to the right garage as well.
Oh, yeah, don't take it back to the wrong one.
Yeah, I'm here to drop off my CB500 I've been test riding. You know, this is the Suzuki garage, don't you? Yeah. I'm not dropping anything off. I'm away.
Yeah, see ya.
Have a great day. I'll come pick up the GS500 later.
Yeah, I'll be the guy getting out of the taxi.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting in touch, man. And thanks for the advice. But Antonio, if you're on Facebook, mate, come and join in. Get in with the chat. There's loads of bikers in the group that are all bikers.
Antonio might already be in the group, actually.
I think he might be.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There's a few people in there. It's grown a bit this week.
Yeah, there's another few. It's still ticking along. It's not a huge group, but it's still ticking along gently. People are still joining. People are still chatting. That's what we want in life.
Yeah, but come in. Join. Get involved. People are happy to talk.
Exactly that. And on that note, Steve, that's pretty much the end of the show.
That pretty much is.
So, guys, if you've got anything you want to say to us, if you've got any corrections for us this week, if you've got any advice, anything at all, guys, you can find us on...
We are For the Love of MotoGP, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter, or like I just said, come and join the Facebook page. It is growing. Conversation is going well. There's a nice sort of little bit about anticipation about Marquez at the minute.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That's all over that. The guys are getting very excited, but come and join in. If you're not already there, come and join us. Or if you want to email in with something for Correction Corner, we are For the Love of MotoGP at gmail.com.
There we go. Perfect.
We're there.
Happy days. And that is all from us this week, guys. So thank you all very much for listening. Next week, we'll be back with the Remy Gardner show, as well as bringing you all the latest news and updates, as always. So
hopefully there is some.
Hopefully there is some. If not, it'll just be more of me and Steve just Doing me and Steve, really. Just is what it is.
Aye.
So, yeah, like I say, guys, thank you all very, very much for listening. We'll speak to you next week. Stay safe. Look after each other, guys. Goodbye.
Take care, guys.
Music is by Andrew Greenwood. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.